Well, I start to tell you about my dad, and he got caught in a revolution, and the one of them was against the one that my daddy was. They pick up my mom and two more families and take them prisoners. And my grandmama, she went with my mama. She didn't leave them by herself. And they figured they hold the family, husband would come in, turn themselves in. But the husband didn't know nothing about it. They was out in the revolution with the other soldiers, I guess. I don't know what. So they and they shipped them to Mexico, to Musquis, to Veracruz. And in Veracruz, Mexico, my mama say it was her mama, my grandmama went to, it was a guy out there selling tacos or something, little food, and had a little stand, a colored man. And she went over there and talked to this man, and this man was, he didn't talk English, but he talked Spanish. And my grandmama told him the problem they were seeing. He told him, say, I tell you what, if I can help you, make a note for the American consul. You see, the American consul was in Veracruz, and the Mexican consul is on this. The American consul is in Mexico, and the American is the American is in Mexico, and the Mexican consul is in the United States. And I said, I'd take him to him. And my grandmama made a note, said they was born and raised in Bracketville, Texas. And he slip over there, that guy, and give it to the consul, and the consul made an oath or called, I guess, the Army of Mexico, and told them to release them family. You see, you release them family. And they released them. And the consul, he put them on a boat and give them money for pay the way for the get all the way to Bracketville, and they ship them on a boat, and they come to Galveston. That's where they wind up in Galveston. And from Galveston, they went to Brackett. Well, they was in Brackett for a good while, and then the revolution was over in Mexico. Well, my daddy went over to look for her family. He didn't find it. He found my granddaddy. My granddaddy was over there, and he found my granddaddy. And granddaddy told him, he said, "Oh, they take your wife and certain family." He said, "Your mama went with your wife." He said, "And I haven't heard nothing about it." Well, my daddy said, "Well, I'm going to look for him." He got on a little train. We run like about 2 or 3 bucks ago. We run to a little station where the big main line and big train would go to, from the border they would go to Mexico City. And my daddy got on a little train, and he was going to Mexico City to look for his wife. And my grandmama, then he heard everything was quiet in Mexico. Well, she went back to Mexico. And then she got to switch, get off a little train, off the big train, and get on the little one to go. And then she got off the big train. My daddy got off the little one, and they meet right there.
So they found each other.
Yeah, and she told him and said, "No, well, she's sitting in Bracketville." Well, my daddy, he come on to the United States. He was an American citizen. My daddy and my mama, they was born and raised in Berkeley. And they stayed in the round bracket for a good while till World War I break out. Then World War I here in the United States break out. My daddy didn't want to fight no more. He didn't want to go no more war. And United States governor said all the ones that didn't want to fight, they could have go to Mexico. And my daddy had a wagon and a team of mules. And he went back to Mexico. He loaded my mama and my oldest brother. And he went back to Muskie. He drove a wagon all the way from Del Rio all the way to Muskie, about 90 miles. And he went over there, and he stayed over there and raised 9 kids over there.
Before you tell me any more, as always, one of the reasons we love oral history is because of the power of the narrative. Your story is so captivating, we haven't even had a chance to open our program yet. This is Marna Weston for the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program here in St. Augustine at the Underground Railroad Convention, and I'm speaking with Mr. Fred Payne. Thank you for telling us so much this far, and I know there's more coming. Mr. Payne, could you tell me when and where you were born?
That?
When were you born?
I was born 1929.
And where were you born?
In Mexico.
What city?
1929, the 12th day of September.
12th day of September. And you've been telling me about your mother and your father and your oldest brother. What are your mother and father's names?
My mother's name was Ortiz.
Ortiz.
And my oldest brother was Tommy Payne.
And your dad?
My dad was John Payne.
Okay. We're here at this conference that talks about the Gullah Geechee and the Seminole people. How do you describe yourself? Who are you? What is your background? Who are your people?
Well, about the Seminole people, the way my mama was talking, tell me, they was went from Florida to Texas to help United States governor fight the Comanches, the Indians, and they did. And then they was through with the Indian. The United States governor wanted to pay them, and they didn't want no money. They want a place to live. And the governor gave them a piece of land in Bracketville, a good piece of land, probably about, I say it was probably around about 10,000 or 15,000 acres. And
that's how your family came to live there?
That's right. And that's where the Seminole was living, and they called the place, they name it now Folklock after, and that's where all the Seminole were living, and they would raise goats, and they would plant corn or crop, and they were living there. In the amount of years, the governor decided to take them away from them. He told them they got to move out, sell, or go buy a piece of land in town or rent a house, because he was taking his land to build a post to put soldiers. Oh. And he did. And he take it away. And they build a airport and had soldiers and everything for World War II. They had a lot of soldiers then. And then after they give them their land, and they was a little crowded. Said Seminole was a little crowded. Well, Mexico was having problems with the Indians at the same time. Well, they asked the Seminoles And the United States governor told Mexico he had some Seminole that was good fighters for the Indian. That was good on the Indian. And they went to Mexico, and they went to fight Mexico, help Mexico, the Indians fight. And they did. Then everything settled down. Mexico wanted to pay them, and they said no, they didn't want no. They didn't want no money, they wanted land. And Mexico gave them land, and they still got it. They still got it. It's not much Seminole over there. Ain't but one woman now, full-blood Seminole, in Nacimiento, Mexico, just one. And all the rest is half crossbreed. They married Mexican, their daddy or their mama.
You know, that's a lot of what this conference is about. People are trying to figure out, how do you know who is a Seminole? How do you know who is a black Seminole? This one woman you described as full blood. How do you know who is a Seminole or who is a black Seminole? How do you say who is who?
Well, to me, I couldn't hardly tell. I couldn't tell. The people, the United States, the black people in the United States had an education. They can tell the way the Seminole talk. They didn't talk the English too bad. It was pretty rough. and that's I know a lot of people will just, you start talking to them and they tell you not but a Seminole, and they come out of Mexico. You can't talk good English.
But what if you spoke Spanish, like you? If you speak Spanish and you're black and you're a Seminole, how do you say, well, this is part of this part of the Seminoles, or you're part of this family of the Seminoles?
Well, you speak Spanish like I do. Then you got the black people was from the United States. You got them in a corner because he don't speak no Spanish. you got them right there. And I don't speak much English. I speak more Spanish than I do English. And actually, I've been married twice to a Mexican woman. My first wife, I got 8 kids.
What was her name?
I got 4 boys and 4 girls.
What was your first wife's name?
Julie.
Okay.
Julia Payne.
Okay. And who are the children? What are the children's names?
Then my children, my oldest one, his name is Oscar Payne. And next to him, it'd be Mary Payne. She's here somewhere here in Miami, Florida. She live here. And then next to her would be another girl named Minnie. And she's in Ohio. And next to Minnie, it'd be another girl. She's in Amarillo, Texas, named Nellie. She got a boy. Nellie got a boy. He's playing with the Steelers. He's 96 is the number.
Okay.
He's playing football with the Steelers.
Does he play now or he played before?
No, he's playing right now.
Okay.
He's playing right now. I think last year, then they played for the Super Bowl. That was his first year.
Okay, wow. So now there's some more children after Nellie, though, right?
Huh?
More children after Nellie. The rest of your children?
Yeah.
Okay. Who are they?
In all the rest, the Nellie's in Maryland. That's 4 girls, 3 girls and 1 boy. And then I got a boy in Brackett. And then I got another boy next to him. He's here in Miami, named Johnny Payne. He named like my daddy. And I got the youngest one in Well, I got between the youngest one and Johnny, I got a girl named Paulina. She's in San Angelo, Texas. And the youngest boy, he's in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay. So those are your children with Julie.
Yeah, and every one of the 8 kids got a high school education. Every one.
So that's important to you, the education.
Yeah.
Why is that important to you?
And because their mama was pretty hard to get along, and she is still hard to get along. And after raise up the kids, she was hard to get along, and I just finally decided I couldn't live the rest of my life like that. I want to live a little better life.
But your children all got a good education.
Yeah, and I got a divorce. And in a few more years, I find me a woman, a Mexican woman, and I married her.
And what is her name?
And she turned off a good woman.
Uh-huh. What's her name?
Dora.
Dora.
And I think I got her picture here. She looked like a white woman. She's a good woman.
Oh, yeah, she's lovely.
And I've been married to her about 20-something years now.
Okay. Do you have children?
And no, we didn't have no children. She had 6 kids.
Okay.
And I adopted the 2 youngest ones. She had 2 young girls, and I adopted them, and one of them is married.
What are their names?
And she's in San Antonio, Texas.
What are the daughters' names?
And
What are their names? The daughters.
the name is Valerie and Diana. And then Valerie in Uvalde, we got a cafe, and she and her mama, they run the cafe.
Do you remember your grandparents?
Who?
Do you remember your grandparents?
Rainbow?
Your mama's mother and father. Do you remember them?
No, I don't remember my mother in my granddaddy's name. I don't remember their name.
But you remember being around them?
Yeah.
Okay, what were they like? What was it like being around your grandparents?
Huh?
What were they like?
Well, I guess I didn't get to know them. I guess it was like farming, because they was in Mexico from there. They died in Mexico. But they had a name. They called my granddaddy Ike or Ike, something like that. And it used to be out there in Mexico where my granddaddy used to live, used to be a pecan tree, and he would give a great big old pecan. And I was just a young old kid, and I went over there and picked some pecan and was selling it. And all the good one, I wouldn't sell it. And I began to tell my sisters, no, I'm not going to sell that one. That's the old old Ike. And my mama got on me about it where I got that pecan tree. And then my mama said, well, that's the people was calling her daddy Ike. And she got on me about that. But I didn't know it. I never did get to know his name.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Well, I got 2 sisters. This girl here, Mama, she's my baby sister, daughter.
Can you tell me the names of your brothers and sisters from oldest to youngest, your brothers and sisters?
The oldest one? The oldest brother, his name was Tom. And my sister was Lorene. And then there was another boy next to Tom named Bob. And then next to Lou Rainey, it was it's still living, John, named John Payne. He's in Bracket Bear. And he's 95. He's 95 years old. And then next to John, it was one, he died 70, he was 77, then he died. But he would smoke a whole lot and drink a whole lot. His name was Oliver. And next to Oliver, it was a girl. It's been almost 2 or 3 months, about 2 or 3 months. I had a sister died, and she was 88. She was 88.
What is the story that your family tells about how they left slavery and got their freedom? I know you've talked about how your family went from Florida to Texas and Mexico. So, how is that story told in your family?
Oh, then they got to Mexico?
Yes.
They got from here to Mexico? Well, the story is, then they was leaving Florida, and they was, I guess that the way my mama said, they was running, going in Texas, and they was, cause they was slave. They was slave here in Florida. The way background, they were a slave, and they were running, going, and they got over there, and they got there in Texas, and they want to be free, and they got in, help them fight the Indians.
The first part you were telling me. And now, when they were here in Florida, do you know the names of the places they were at? What part of Florida did they come from?
No, I sure don't.
Just Florida.
I sure don't know the place. And this is my first time I come to Florida. But I sure don't know the place. But they went for Jeffrey, Florida.
When you were growing up, did you have chores that you did?
Huh?
Did you have chores? Things like you had to work when you were young? Chores?
No, I was a big man.
Yes, but I mean, like you have to milk the cows or chop wood or.
Oh yeah, I was a rancher. I worked on a ranch all my life. We worked livestock. I ride horses. I break horses, and that's the reason I'm all break up.
Well, tell me about that. Tell me about breaking horses and being a rancher. What kind of life was that like?
It's a hard life. It's a hard life. Because now they're not ranching like they used to. The things change in the amount of years. Things change. Way back yonder, when I was young, and people were ranching, it was you break horses and break them the hard way. You just get a horse and never had a rope on them, and put them in a pen and rope them and stretch them out. Guy rope behind feet and stretch them out, put a saddle on them, and get the cowboy on. And a horse never see a person before, never. And that's a hard life.
Did you know many men that did that?
Oh, I know many men did that. I did that myself too.
Who's the best person you ever know that you saw? Who's the best one you ever saw? The best one could.
Well, the best rancher I ever saw, he died. He's dead already. He's been dead a good while. His name was George Fay. He was a good rider. He was a good rider. I give him to him. He was a good rider.
What did you admire about him? What made him so good?
Well, I think he's good because he rode a lot of horses and they never get thrown off. He could ride a horse. I tell you what that horse do. He would stay right there on him. And it's not very many guys do that.
So you were thrown?
I got thrown.
Many times? A few times?
Quite a few. Yeah, quite a few times.
What is that like when you get thrown off the horse?
Well, sometimes you get thrown, most of them get thrown off a horse. It's very few times it hurts you. But if you keep doing it, you will get hurt someday. They run over you or throw you and step on you or kick you, then they go by and you get hurt.
But you could get along with the horses.
Right.
Did you talk to them? Did you have to tell them what was what? Or how do you get along with a horse? The
Well,
horse
in modern years, then I get older, and when I work on a lot of ranches, and I see people breaking horses, and it's a way to break a horse, and you don't have to go through all that. You take this horse, put a rope on him, work with him, and trot him around, run around, especially if you got a round pen, it's about the best thing to work on. One don't have no corners. This make them go round and round. And stop and brush him and comb him, and after a while you get the horse. And it's a way to do that, to break a horse, and you don't have to go through all that.
They're smart animals then?
They're pretty smart animals.
Did you ever train them to do anything besides just the roping? Did you teach them tricks or things like that?
Well, they're pretty smart because I guess the way you treat them. The way you treat them, and that horse, so you treat them every day, you work with them every day, he know you. I go there or she go and there where she know where you, she tell the difference. And that's where to work with horses, with livestock.
How many years did you work with horses?
I worked with horses, I worked on one place 21 years in Bracketville. And then I moved from Bracketville to Uvalde, and I worked on one place 11 years in Uvalde, and then I got sick, and the doctor told me I better quit working, because if you want to live a few more years, he said you better quit working.
You mentioned going to the doctor. I'm curious, when you grew up, did you go to when you got sick, did you go to the doctor or did you do stuff at home?
Well, I had a heart attack. Had a heart trouble.
How long ago was that?
Well, that's been good long. It's been about 15, 16 years. I had a heart attack, and the doctor told me, see, the kind of work you do is just too hard on you. You get too hot, and they say you better quit it. And I did. And I was coming already 62 years old. They say, I'm going to sign, fix the papers, and you turn them in and say, for your Social Security, they say, you can live off of that. Maybe later on, they say, you might do little light jobs where you don't get too hot. And I did. Later on, after I did, and after I married this last woman, she opened a little old cafe, and we did good with the cafe. We did good. Then I married her. She didn't have but 6 kids, 5 girls and 1 boy. She did rent in the house. She didn't have no home, and we got to work and saved a little money. We bought a lot, and then we bought a trailer house. And then we bought 6 more lots and 2 more trailer houses, and we sat on it and had to rent them out. And then where we were living, it was 10 miles to the city, to Uvalde. Then she opened a little old cafe, this little old small place, and she's selling tacos, and she done really good, and I would wash dishes, and she make tortillas, homemade tortillas, and she did good. And did good, and then we bought a place, and this place, right now we got them for sale, the place, and This place costs $180,000. We got it for sale. I don't know what we can get what we want for it. We want about $400,000 I doubt it. There's a lot of people come by for the day.
So this is the year 2012.
Yeah.
This is the year 2012. You've had a long life, seen a lot of things.
Right.
What do you think is the future for Black Seminole people? What is their future going to be like?
Well, I think the future for the Black Seminole people, this I would say, after a while, it'd be just like Mexico. Cause they getting mixed up. They get married. I got my youngest boy. He married a white girl. I got two boys. Their wife is Mexican. My oldest daughter, she lives in Miami, and she husband is in Puerto Rico. She got two kids, a girl and a boy. After a while, you wouldn't know the difference. And since they changed everything, and they mixed the school, well, things change. The young generation, they run together, they have parties together, and they're different than they used to be. Then I come out of Mexico, 1945. I come to Brackville, 1945. It was tough then. It was pretty tough.
What was tough about it? What do you mean?
It was tough in the way for Black people. You go down the street and you want to find a place to eat, you better look for signs first, see if you can go, if they allow you in there to eat. This is the sign say they don't allow Black people, you better keep going.
Was it like that when you went to school too?
Yeah, it was like that. The school wasn't mixed. They wasn't mixed. They was mixed with the Mexican and the white. But all the Black was separate. They go to school. And then the amount of years, then they keep getting United States getting in war. And then President John Kennedy got in. Well, he changed. He said he changed, everything was going to be changed. He mixed the school. They had a lot of problems, a lot of places, but it's mixed. And they go to school, and they get married, and but the thing has changed because you see a lot of Black people. It's a highway patrols, border patrols, policemen, and all, lawyers, and you see all.
President of the United States.
A lot of stuff. And a long time ago, they didn't have that.
Did you think that you would ever see that, a Black president?
Well, I thought I'd never see it. I thought I'd never see it, but an old man, he told me this. I remember then the World War, I think World War II or something like that was over. The president, I forgot who was president then. And
Truman?
And he said the poorest man in the United States was going to have a car. Because I remember then there was very few poor people had a car, and they had an old, because the car I had an old 39 Chevrolet, and I paid $100, and I borrowed the money to the bank, and I paid cash for it. And I was driving my car. You run probably 30 or 35 miles an hour if I had a car. And things changed quite a bit. And what I say, I never, this old man, he was a white man, old man. And he told me, they say, you young, Fred. He said, you go get to see this. He said, what the president said last night is going to be true. He said, you going to live young enough to see this. He said, but it's going to be, you see, I'm going to tell you the truth, it's going to be a lot of people driving cars, but it's going to be a lot of people getting killed. He said, because a lot of people, he said, they ain't got enough up here to have them driving a car. He said, that car say 100, he said, they're going to drive it 100. And it's true, it come out exactly what he said. That's a lot of people getting killed in automobiles.
Do you remember where you were when you heard that Barack Obama was elected president?
Sir?
Do you remember where you were and what you were doing when you heard Barack Obama was president of the United States?
Well, I was working on a ranch. I was working on a ranch, and it was a lot of change they made a lot of change in that, and then they mixed the school and everything get mixed up, and everybody get the same education, and things change. Everybody get along fine.
Do you remember any stories from when you were growing up that your family told you? You know, like stories that you tell kids, or fairy tales, or a bedtime story, maybe something in Spanish. A story that you would tell to a young person.
Well, I can remember then the stories about the mixed people will be mixed, and I could eat what she's eating. I can eat too in the same building, the same place, and I can remember that. And the people tell me that, and I seen it. I seen it, still seeing it. Still seeing it every day. And we got now right in the town where I'm living, the Uvalde, they said that was one of the toughest little city. It was hard on the Mexican people, it was hard on the black people. And now I got a lot of customers, white people, a lot of customers come in the cafe. This is happy as they can be.
Well, Mr. Payne, I want to thank you very much for doing this interview.
Yeah.
On behalf of our Samuel Proctor Oral History Program, it's been an honor to talk to you about your life and to learn more about the Seminoles. And I'd like to close the interview by giving you a chance to say anything you want to say. So when you get done with whatever you want to say, that'll be the end of the interview.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I say, I'm pretty happy the way things change, the thing going on. I got a grandkid. She's already in the service. His mother is a white girl, and his dad is my youngest boy, and he's in the service already. Great big old boy. And this grandson, I'm telling you, he played with the Steelers. He's a big guy. He weighs about 300 pounds. And his name is Jiggy Hood. And his mother had four kids. And she and her husband got a divorce, and she was a policeman in Amarillo, Texas. And she raised them kids. And this boy here, he was the youngest one. The oldest boy, he's an engineer. His brother, the oldest one, he said the youngest boy, he never did like work. And he used to tell him, you better go to school or do something. He said, because you don't like to work. And he finished high school, and he went to college in Missouri. In the state of Missouri, he went to college. And he liked to play football. And that's where they got him, in the college. And got him with the Steelers. He signed a contract. Then they played for the Super Bowl. He signed a contract for 3 years, and give him 15 million for 3 years. And he's always with my oldest boy. And I tell you, you young, you can hang around, maybe he'll help you out. That's home, boy. He's a big guy. Well, I had a hard life to get where I am right now. I went through some hard jobs and didn't get paid much. Back in 1945, I was about 16 years old. And this a great big old boy. I didn't go to school. I went to working on the ranches. And I didn't get paid probably $2 a day. $2 a day. In both. And then later on, they raised up to $3. That was $90 a month. And it was pretty tough, dude. Because I tell a lot of boys, I said that time we couldn't wear a cowboy boot. I said a cowboy boot was cost a pretty decent boot would cost probably $35-40, and that was a lot of money. That was a lot of money for a pair of boots. We'd rather just buy a regular shoes. It cost about $8 and something did. $8 or $9. And see, that thing changed because I used to have, I don't wear it no more since I'm all crippled up. I used to have boots, cost me $300. Cowboy boots. I never dreamed I'd get to pay that kind of money for a pair of boots. I think this make a change in this. And the only thing got me now in the shape I am right now, I got this leukemia in my blood. That is cancer. And I had him for about 12 years now. And that's what really teared me up, because they give me a shot about every 30 days or 60 days. They draw blood and they run it and check the blood. And they give me a shot, and the shot is really expensive. That shot costs $4,720 for a little bottle that big. Come out of Japan, and that's a lot of money. And the insurance what I got is paying part of it, and the other part, I had another insurance would pay the other part, but he's backing off. He paid for a while and then he quit. And right now, about a month ago, there's mailed me a letter. The insurance quit paying it, and one of the insurance quit paying it, and the part the insurance quit paying it, I owe them $40,000. In February to now, I owe them $40,000. That's a lot of money. I said, no way I can pay them people that kind of money. And I told my wife, I said, ain't no way I could pay that kind of money. And I said, I don't want you to get, because we got 3 houses, and got one we're living in, and we got 2 rent out. I said, I don't want to sell nothing like that. I said, because anything happened to me, I said, they're not going to kill me. I said, they're not going to kill me, that's for sure. I said, you're going to be down this before you get started. And I said, I turned everything, I put it down in my wife's name. The houses, I take I don't have nothing in my name. I don't have no car, nothing. We have 2 trucks and 2, 3 cars in there. And everything is in my daughter and my wife's name. I said, I don't want to, I said, because anything happened to me, I said, you're going to be down to this where y'all started. I said, I don't want to see y'all like that. I said, at least, I said, you got them 2 houses, you get the rent of them houses, and you live off that. Well, you want to, how long I got to be here, this?
We're done. Again, thank you very much.
Eh?
Thank you very much again. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
A sus ordinance.
Well, you think you got enough information?
I think so.
But I'm so glad you get it off. But as I said, the Seminole people is probably, you young, I don't know how old are you, what are you, about 30 something?
Well, you're very kind.
35? Well, you young, you probably see this because the next 40, 50 years, this thing be mixed up, and you can't tell the Seminole, they all mixed up, they're like Mexico. There's Mexico, the only thing Mexico did good, they still got the land. They still got the land. You can build a house on the land. And they got a farm. You farm that farm or whatever you want to do. But you cannot sell your piece of land, say, well, this is mine, or, yeah, I'm going to sell it. You can't do that. You can live there, as long as they don't cost you nothing, build you a house, this is how you want it. And that's the only thing Mexico did for the Seminoles over there. But they cannot sell it. And the one is here in Bracketville, they got kicked out a long time ago. They got kicked out of their land. They kicked them out.
Thank you very much, Mr. Payne. We're honored and very appreciative of the time to talk with you. Thank you.
Okay.
What kind of a place is it? Can you describe, for someone who's never been there before and never seen it, what would you have to say about it?
In Brackett?
In Brackett, yes.
Well, Brackett is getting this like Brackett getting this like Mexico. There's not very many Seminoles in Bracketville. Mm-hmm. They all moved away from Brackett because no living for no job, no living, and they moved away from Brackett.
But Seminole people lived there for a while and had good lives there. Is that right?
I guess right now in Bracketville is bound to be not over 5 or 6 older people in Brackett, Seminole. Mm-hmm. They all died out, and me and this guy, he a dog warrior. Because Dub is older than me, he's 85. And then there's another guy in bracket, he's 82, my age. It is not very many.
But the stories are being told. And
Yeah.
the story is still being told about Seminoles in Florida and in Texas. People still tell the stories.
Okay, or the but the story of Texas and Florida.
Yes, sir.
Well, the Texas, Florida, the Seminole was going west, and because there was freedom put off from Florida, there was slave, and they got to Texas, and the United States governor was fighting with the Comanches Indian, and they just chip in and with the governor, and the governor just got them and helped them fighting the Comanches, and they made it. Give them after they was through, the governor wanted to pay them, and they said they didn't want no money, they want a piece of land to live on. Then the governor gave them the land. They gave them a land, and they lived it for years and years, and then all at once, the United States governor told them, they said, y'all got to move to town. Because they was living south of Brackettville. Brackettville was it's still a little old town, and all the Seminole was on the south side. And they told them, you all got to move to town and buy or rent or something, but y'all can't be living here no more. And they move them all got to move out. The governor come in and build roads and build houses and put soldiers in the place.
I think they got what they needed.
Yeah, they got it?
They got what they needed.
Okay.